Hey guys, it's coreross and welcome to 6 News. So today, unfortunately, we have some leaks of the new season of Rainbow Six Siege, along with potentially leaks of Year 5 as well. This all comes from a credible source that's given us good information in the past. However, this person does seem to get their information not directly. It seems to be passed down at least a few steps before it gets to them. So something that's not always perfect, but most of the time, a lot of it is accurate. So spoilers this point onwards for the next season and potentially into Year 5 as well. Alright guys, let's get started. So apparently the Indian attacker is going to have a grenade launcher that fires a device which charges up and destroys gadgets around it. Also, she has a bolt action rifle. So if that's correct, that means that we have a female attacker who's from India. Of course, we already know the countries, but we didn't know which attacker or defender role to be playing. And apparently a sniper rifle. And the device is an anti-gadget device. This is great. I've been totally wanting basically an alternative to Thatcher. And this seems pretty cool. Interesting that it's on a grenade launcher, so it's not something you throw, but you fire out. And how is that grenade launcher used? Is it a separate gadget you pull out like Ash? Or could it be something like an underslung or attached to the weapon like Nomad? So yeah, interesting. Indian attacker, female, anti-gadget, so EMP type device. It charges up and destroys stuff. And sniper rifle. Cool. Now, I did do a poll not long ago asking what people would like to see in the next season, and surprisingly, Sniper was quite high, even though I think from a developer point of view and a gamer point of view, I kind of think that sounds like a bad idea because Glass has been such a mess, and the only way I could see it working is if the Sniper rifle wasn't the gadget. If there was a proper gadget and the Sniper rifle was just part of the loadout, then I could see that working. The other bonus point, of course, is this means we're getting a new gun with the new season, which we haven't seen in a while. That is brilliant. Even if it is just a bolt action sniper rifle, even if the operator also gets a reused gun for their secondary or something like that, it is great to have a new weapon coming with the next season. Then we've got the Kenyan operator. This is going to be the defender, and of course this will be the male operator if this information is correct. And apparently they have a device that sucks in grenades, and this is interesting. It triggers them. So basically this is competition to Jaeger, but it sounds complex because you would have to think about where to put this because you don't want the grenade to explode when this thing gets, when it grabs it and then destroys other friendly gadgets around it. This seems like a Jaeger, but much more complex. You'd have to think about placement. Maybe he has a lot more of them, but this is interesting. I'm also curious about EMP grenades as well because if it triggers an EMP grenade, that would be bad. It would destroy stuff around it and it'd be a very bad Jaeger. Now, he also goes on to say, no idea about the loadouts, though I believe he's a 1-speed operator. Now, if that's the case, I would say that's not Jaeger 2.0, that's Fat Jaeger. That's not going to help the massive pick rate that Jaeger has. Like, we want an operator basically that's a lot like Jaeger that can kind of split that pick rate in half. And I can't see many Jaeger players jumping from Jaeger onto this guy if he's a 1-speed. Now, of course, he might have an ACOG and that might help. But yeah, not confident right now about that. But the way this leaker talks about this, they are definitely not sure that he's a 1-speed. They don't even give us any idea of how they think he's a 1-speed, whether that was a conversation or seeing something. And it might be that he's, of course, a 2-speed, or he even could end up being a 3-speed. But hopefully not a 1-speed. That'll be bad. So let's move on from that. That's our potential operators for the next season, which will, of course, will be getting seen very soon. But let's talk Year 5. So this stuff is all about Year 5. Now, this is all over the place. This talks about upcoming operators, stuff that's been cancelled, stuff that might be coming, stuff that's potentially coming. There's a lot of information in here that just is noise. It doesn't seem like it's stuff we'll actually see, but there's plenty of stuff that we will see. So I would take this with a massive, massive grain of salt. So let's start with Year 5. We'll have some interesting operators. Anyone ever watched those commercials with the Kool-Aid Man? Now, if I'm reading into this right, this operator will be able to run through walls. which would be awesome. That's an operator I've always wanted. I basically wanted a shield operator, and I always thought I'd call him like Rhino or something, and he just smashed through walls. Of course, soft walls, not reinforced walls. And if this is to be the case, it looks like we're getting something along that lines of an operator who can, I'm guessing, just run and kind of go at full speed and smash through a soft wall, which would be cool. And can't wait to see that. That would be amazing. I wonder if that will be season 1 or if that's something future. This leaker then goes on to talk about a potential medic drone, which would be cool, and I would love to see that. And he also says that an akimbo dude is potentially coming as well. That would be a dual wielder. And yeah, I don't know how that would work in Siege overall. Could be interesting. They got to do it, I guess, at some point, so maybe. And this leaker goes on to say that they cannot 100% confirm this. This is why I think a lot of this year 5 stuff is quite a lot of noise, because I don't think we'll see most of this. They then go on to say that a lot of stuff has been scrapped due to game engine issues and just being impractical. For example, apparently they had a shield with a stun in mind that would throw players back, I'm guessing something like a nomad, but with the way shields are, they felt this was not wise to pressure at the moment. Or not wise to go with, I guess. So they also looked into flamethrowers, light beams, and other wild ideas are held back by engine for now. That's interesting that this leaker says for now. There is the potential of 2 things happening. One is they completely overhaul the game engine entirely, and also the other secondary option would be the next generation consoles. It could be that they're looking at, in the future, taking the advantage of that power, because the current generation of consoles that we have are very underpowered, and certainly if you wanted to get crazy with like setting fire to a lot of stuff, things like that, that could be a major performance issue for the current gen. Going on to the next gen, it could be that they might be able to leverage more power, which means in a few years' time when everyone switched over to the next gen, maybe they can actually take advantage of that in a different way. But that's pure speculation on my part, and it's literally reading into one word at the end of that sentence. Now, the leaker continues on to talk about new stuff for the rest of the operators. Now, this is under the year 5 stuff, so I don't know if this is year 5 stuff or current stuff or a bit kind of mix of both. But the leaker says we are getting an alarm gadget, so the proximity alarm that was teased at the beginning of the year, and I would love that to come out this year for sure. They say that's actually going to be on the Defenders team. I wasn't sure which one they would get it, so Defenders apparently will be getting that, which is interesting indeed. And apparently the attackers are going to get a small thermite charge. What? That would be meta changing if that's the case. If the attackers get a secondary gadget that's a small thermite charge. Now I'm guessing when it means small, I would think not big enough to vault in. That's my kind of thinking, it would be that small, but would really change up the meta a lot. And I guess if 2 operators brought them, maybe you could make a big enough hole for people to get through. That would be very, very interesting. However, it could just be impact grenade style size hole. I don't know. That would seem too powerful. But yeah, that's interesting. Especially this is coming from a credible source, and I don't quite believe that would be a thing, because man, that would change the game entirely, like big time. And I think Defenders would need like a hole filling gadget after that. He also says that Chanka is going to be getting his rework soon. I do wonder what he means by soon. Is that next season or the beginning of year 5? I think Invitationals. Got to show off at the Invitationals. I think that'd be amazing. So beginning of the year, season 1, Chanka rework. Awesome. I think that's when they should do it, but curious. Apparently he's no longer going to need his turret, and he's going to have a new interesting play. No idea what that means. And Finka is being looked at and being turned into a proper medic down the line. So a Finka rework at some point. However, the way he words that makes it sound like it's potentially years away. And then half reinforcement walls are being studied, but not a sure thing. I could see that coming in as like a actual dedicated gadget of half reinforced walls eventually one day. Not like an option for every defender, I would think. Then there's apparently going to be the Ella and Cav Elites, which have both been leaked. And apparently it's going to be followed up by the Buck one. So we'll see how that goes. I am curious. Of course, we have our usual amount of Elites, 2 per season. I do wonder if there's going to be an elite at the end of the battle pass. That's my kind of thinking too. So maybe we'll have, of course, Ella, probably mid-season, so anytime now. Cav would then come out probably with the launch of the new season. Then Buck, is he mid-season or is he going to be battle pass? Something like that. Curious to find out what happens there. Then the leaker finishes off with some interesting things that, again, this seems like a lot of noise. He says, by the way, we're aware of client-side debris, which is a weird thing to say because everybody freaking knows about that. Now, they say internally there's still a debate over whether to just instantly delete the debris or develop a solution that looks nicer so it somehow be synced properly. But this is the amazing part. This problem also has held back the replay mode because it looked horribly off. Now, the devs have said plenty times that they just can't do a replay mode, that it's just not possible with the game engine. And oh, I would love it. I would love it. I just don't quite believe this one. Seems a bit more out there. Would be great. And then he throws in a couple of other really interesting things. So apparently they're looking into lighting and camo because of competitive and R6 quarantine. Now I think that is the whole pay to win aspect of some of the camos being really good for some of the maps. And maybe they're looking into a way of sorting that out. But I don't know why he's then jammed R6 quarantine into that line. What would that have to do with cosmetics in a cooperative game? Doesn't seem like it would matter. So I'm not sure what that connection is he's trying to relay there. You guys can let me know what your kind of theories on that there. But let me know what you think of all this. This is a lot of information. Like I say, there's a lot of noise in here. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't seem like it's actually going to be a thing. But it's a trusted source, so I believe the actual leaks on the operators is correct. I believe the secondary gadgets is correct. And a lot of the other little bits will probably come in a couple of years. We'll probably see them down the line. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will catch you next time.